What's up, guys? We are back with another Anime Vanguards video, and if you couldn't tell from looking at the screen, we are doing an Anime Vanguards Update 3.5 tier list. I have not made a tier list in a hot minute, so I had to go around asking people where I should place certain units because I'm a little bit rusty when it comes to making tier lists, but I think I got a pretty good handle on it now, and tier lists are very low-hanging fruit in terms of content. It's like the easiest videos to make, so, you know, we need a daily video for today, and I might as well milk one more tier list before update 4 comes out, before this one becomes irrelevant. So let's not waste any more time. We have S tier, that will be meta. Then we're gonna add a tier, okay, don't do that. We're gonna add a tier right below it, that will be meta support. These are the must-have support units, because we have a lot of units in the game now. You know, we've come a long way from update 0 and update 1, where this was like half the length. Also, D tier bad units. Right above D tier, gonna add a row above that. We're gonna make that normal support. And now I think we're ready to get started. So, I'm sure I don't need to explain the tiers to you. Let's just get right into it. Diavolo, easy S tier, extremely good Vanguard unit, good damage, good slow ability. There's a case to be made for putting him in meta support, but this is just a general tier list. We'll put him in S tier. He's pretty good in comparison to a lot of other units. Gogeta, another Vanguard unit, another S tier. Highest rarity units in the game. Logically, they're also going to be the best ones. Amelia, meta support. Really good slow/freeze unit. I forgot what she does exactly, but she's a very good stall unit. Fubuki, we're going to put you in normal support. She's not all of that. Actually, yeah, we're going to put her in normal support, because although she does have stall, it's just not as good as some of the other units on this list. Karam. I don't even know what anime this dude's from, if I'm being 100% honest. We're going to put bro right into B tier. He's not horrible. He's middle of the road. Next up, this guy's a leaderboard unit. He's going in C tier. This guy's a leaderboard unit. He's going in C tier. This guy's a leaderboard unit. He's going in C tier. My favorite one is 7. So, you know, I guess that's got to count for something, right? We'll put you above these guys. But I don't really want to put any leaderboard units above B+. Because I feel like B+ is when you start going into territory of units that you'd actually use in a real game. And frankly, you would never use leaderboard units in a real game. Like, you'll use them to try them out because they're cool, but after that, it's kind of like, eh. Plus, it's not like leaderboard units are accessible to everyone. These are, you know, in the name, leaderboard units. If you're not a leaderboard player, which is really the top 1 to 2% of players, you're never going to get access to these guys anyway. Actually, I think some of them you will. Because some of them are in tournaments, and tournaments are a lot more accessible, especially since there is a trait-disabled version. But Rem, S tier, one of the most cost-effective DPS units in the game. Really, really good. Datara, we're going to put bro. Put him in A tier. Pretty good damage. Same logic goes for Sasori. The puppet guy from Naruto. Gilgamesh, also A tier. Incredible DPS, really good passives. Diego, where are we going to put you? He has a pretty decent time stop. He's like the only character in the game that has a time stop before he's max, I believe. So we'll put bro in A tier. Next up, Grandma. She's pretty mid. We're going to put her in B tier, though, because she still does pretty decent damage in comparison to everything else in the game. Queenie, also B tier. Okarun, also B tier. Momo, also B tier. All the Dandadan units are pretty middle of the road. Nothing too crazy to be said about them. Even after their buffs, you barely see anyone using them. And for good reason. They're kind of just there. I forgot this dude's name. He's the flame guy. He does fire damage. We're going to put bro in B tier. Hoji gets A tier. Really good utility. He insta-breaks shields. Pretty decent damage. He has full AoE on a pretty early upgrade. So I don't see any reason why you wouldn't use him. Rengoku B tier. He's not horrible. He's just an old unit. You know, updates come and go. Units slowly fall out of the meta. It figures. Julius, where are we going to put our boy? Probably meta support. He freezes, good damage, good range, great passives. What more could you want? Meta support for sure. All of these guys are leaderboard/tournament units, so we are going to put them in C tier. But I believe the best, like, leaderboard unit is Broly, because he does really, like, he has double damage on placement and he breaks shields. So, yeah, do with that what you will. Hakura Ren, meta support. I believe she is the only buff unit in the game that just directly buffs your units wave after wave. And she's unobtainable. She was in the first battle pass that the game ever had when it came out. So if you didn't get her then, Your only chance is going to be getting her through trading, but good luck because she is going to be extremely overpriced, especially since she came out in a time where battle passes didn't give you 2 copies of the same unit. Like, you didn't get a shiny version of her. You just got a version of her. So, there's not a lot of these to go around, is what I'm trying to say. As Death, whoopsies. As Death, you're going to go in S tier. She's really good. Great damage, good crowd control. Same logic applies to Sakura and the new Saber Alter, Saber Black Tyrant. She has really, really good passives. She combos very, very well with her. These are definitely S tier units. I really like Sakura too. She's very unique in her gameplay. Gotta love that. What's his name? I'm already... Subaru. There we go. Not S tier. He's meta support though. Definitely a great support unit. Ragna. We're gonna put you in A tier. He's not like crazy. Actually, we're gonna put him in S tier. His passives are pretty good. Next up, Valentine. You will get A tier because I don't really see too many people using you. Not to say that you're bad, just not S tier level, you know. Next up, Sukuna. Where do I want to put Sukuna? He's not insanely good. I'll put him in A tier. I don't think he's S tier quite anymore, to be honest. Gojo's definitely still S tier. Alucard can be meta support or A tier, depending on how you want to use him. So I'm just going to put him in meta support, but, you know, let it be known. He still does pretty good damage, full AoE, good abilities, yada yada, you get it. He's definitely a good unit to go for. Next up, we have Igris. And bro is going to make it into A tier. He used to be S tier when the game came out, but obviously, updates come, updates go. You get it. Ilya, B tier. Lancer, S tier. One of the best starting units in the game. Without a shadow of a doubt. Extremely cheap, extremely cost effective, good damage, good passives. This guy gets S tier. Maybe he's not meta for leaderboard runs, but for basically 99% of the other content in the game, you're absolutely going to want to bring him. So, Ishtar, give you B tier. She buffs other Fate units, but besides that, I mean, she has decent damage too. There's definitely a case for putting her in like A tier. I'm just going to leave her in B tier for now. Archer, definitely an S tier unit. Who's next? Saber, also S tier. A lot of Fate units are pretty high up there. Medea, or is this Medusa? This is this is Medusa. No, this is Medea. This is Medusa, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I keep mixing up their names, but I'll tell you what, they both get B tier. I put them right next to each other. Johnny, also getting B tier. Oh no, not C tier. B tier. Gyro, also getting B tier. Chozo, honestly, I think Chozo deserves A tier. He's still a pretty good bleed unit. Jogo, gonna give bro B tier. Toto is support. Not meta support. His support is pretty niche, especially since Gogeta's passive, deadass, is just a better Toto ability. Because Toto can, like, swap with units, right? He can swap placements. Gogeta can deadass just teleport wherever he wants on the map, which is pretty crazy. Next up, where is he? Oh yeah, Akaza. C tier. He's ass. One of the worst mythics in the game. I don't think anyone's going to debate me on that. Tengen. We're going to put bro in A tier. Pretty good full AoE unit. Still does decent damage. Chaten. It really pains me to put her in C tier, but if I'm being honest, her damage just doesn't stack up anymore in comparison to the rest of the list. She is an update 0 unit, so it makes sense. Who's next? Naruto. Also C tier. Might be the worst mythic in the game. Obito. Put him in B tier. Sung Jin Woo. Put him in A tier. He still has, like, his synergy with Igris is still very good. His clones are still very good. Sasuke, we'll put you in meta support. Because, you know, you are meta support. Vegeta is A tier. He's still a really good starter unit to place for the early waves, but his damage is falling off. Lancer is literally just a better Vegeta. Like, plain and simple. So, he doesn't get S tier anymore, unfortunately. My GOAT Vegeta is finally falling off. But if you started playing this game since release, you'll know just how insanely good this guy was. He was basically a must-have for everything in the game. Anyways, Inumaki, support. Nobara, we'll put you in support. This guy is a meta support. Pain is normal support. Rest of these fodder units are all going into D tier. She is a support. No, wait, she's a support unit. Nezuko's not support. Crocodile, I'm actually going to put him in meta support, and let me explain why. Although his abilities aren't as crazy as the other meta support units that we have in the list, nor is his damage. He is incredibly cheap, and he does exactly what you want him to. He stalls for you. He slows down enemies. And he's also a somewhat decent shield breaker. If you don't have that already, he hits like 2 or 3 times off placement. And he's really cheap to play, so you can spam him down a lot. I'd definitely put him in meta support. He's like, if you're a starter player, if you're starting out the game, having a crocodile on your team will do you wonders. Gara, you get D tier. So does literally every single other unit in the tier list besides Speedwagon, your meta support, farm unit, absolute must-have. There's only 2 farm units in the game. Logically, you're going to want both of them on your team. Not at all times, but you want both of them. Like, why wouldn't you? There's only 2 of them. And this is the tier list for update 3.5. Let me make it very clear before I get any comments, because I already know some people are going to type them out. This list is not in any particular order. The top of S tier is not necessarily better than the bottom of S tier. The top of A tier is not necessarily better than the bottom of A tier. This is just a general ranking of where I'd place the units on the tier list. So everything in S tier is S tier, everything in A tier is A tier. But we're like, don't look at this list and think, whoa, are you saying that Gogeta is worse than Diavolo? No. I'd argue he's better, but I don't care, because they're both S tier, they're both incredibly good, and it's not like you can get Diavolo anymore anyway, so why would you worry? These, like, everything in S tier is a must-have unit. These are the current meta DPS units that you really, really want to go for. I'd say prioritize getting Rem, S-Death, because these 2 will not be permanent. Everything else will be. So, I think, is Ragna still going to be permanent? I'm not sure. Anyways, that is the tier list from me. Let me know if you guys agree, disagree, if you do anything differently. But for now, that's going to be it for me. Have a great day or night wherever you are. Stay tuned for more content, and we will catch you in the next one.